like, oh yeah, he's a writer, right? They're like, oh yeah, he's a writer. Make him confused about what title to put, right? Because Vice was thinking, what's the most clickbaity title that I could use, right, to get the most views, right? Because this is a serious situation. So is this a serious situation what's going on right now in the real world? I'm thinking we need a clickbaity title, something that's gonna get people to click on this video, right? That's why, because they wanted to keep torturing Bonnie Sue off camera. Like, no, 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 hold on. Wait till we're on camera and we're live streaming. Now torture Bonnie Sue on camera. Now do it. Now that we're the CIA, and now that we've been the CIA in this entire time, we just blew our cover to you. Now do it. Do everything you said that you were going to do to us and all those disgusting texts that you sent. Do it. Do everything. Do everything you said you were going to do to us. Do everything you said you were going to do to Bonnie Sue. Do everything you said you were going to do. Now I want to see you. Ahora te quiero ver, right? Now I want to see you. That's why personally speaking, the frequency is so low that you can't hear because we're actively undercover. Because we know that a certain sex trafficker just entered the premises, right? Eduardo Moreira, Jack Henry, Jim, Jack Henry. That's the point. Is that the statute of limitations doesn't start until when? Until the plaintiff is made aware. But the plaintiff died. Wrong. The plaintiff is Bonnie Godoy. Idiots. The plaintiff did not die. Are you talking about Bonnie Maria Godoy? Oh yeah, that's the point. I'm Bonnie Godoy. I'm the administratrix. I'm the administrator. I'm the administrator of Bonnie Maria Godoy's estate. Exactly. The second that Bonnie Godoy finds out that his mother got sex trafficked by Jack Henry and that they made money off of his mother's likeness, now, now you have to open a court case against Jack Henry because they sex trafficked Bonnie Maria Godoy while Bonnie Godoy was a minor. So actually, Bonnie Sue Godoy, they sex trafficked you too, and you're not dead at all. Wow. Right, what were you trying to do? Murder Bonnie Sue Godoy in secret? So they couldn't whistle that you actually sex trafficked him while he was alive and while he is still alive? You can't sue someone if you're dead. That was a myth that the CIA started spreading around in the mafia community. So you're trying to sue you. You can't sue someone if they're dead. So murder them. That's what mafiosos used to do back in the day. Mafiosos don't do that anymore now, do they? No, they don't. Why? Because we found out the law. Lots of mafiosos are retarded, so they don't know how the law works in the United States, or at least they used to be. They got smarter. It's 2025 now. They know that you can't just murder someone because they're threatening to sue you. That's what they used to do back then. Mafiosos were that retarded. They thought they could just put out a hit on someone just because they threatened to sue you. You did this to me. You did this to me. You did this to me, which is against the law. Yeah, and I'm gonna sue you. I have a money this time, and I have a lawyer, and you were served on live TV in front of the whole world. On live TV in front of the whole world. Boom! You've been served on live television for millions of people to see. Boom, that's it. You got served. Boom, the aha. You've been served on live television. You know who? Yeah, there's a certain big guy, big mafioso guy. We did this to him in the 80s. This happened in the 80s, you guys. We're personally not spreading his name. You're going to find out who it is after we murder him again because he technically did resurrect himself. He reanimated himself, changed his identity so no one could tell that he faked his death. And then he started again, sex trafficking again as a mafioso. But this time he infiltrated the FBI. But this time we set up a fake FBI. But this time we set up a fake FBI to catch you. What you're doing right now, right? No, keep doing it. Yeah, except this time we set up a fake FBI. We were the CIA this entire time. So we're wondering how long you're going to keep doing that while we're on live streaming before you eventually stop. That's the point. He doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want to stop. Why? Because he wants to prove that he's more powerful than us. Says, yeah, I'm going to keep going even though I know that you're live streaming. I keep masturbating to Bonnie Godoy getting raped even though I know that you're live streaming. Because he's evil. Yeah, because he's evil. Because he doesn't want. Exactly, because he is. Because he's trying to steal the channel right now. He is. She's trying to completely steal the channel right now to change the entire narrative to make himself win. No, we only let you partially steal the channel just to admit it, just to get you to confess. So great, you confessed, Oscar Ramirez, that you're an evil witch that pretended to infiltrate the FBI. Why? Because the FBI has been defunct since 20,000 since 1983. Certain year, huh? What happened in 1983, you guys? What happened in 1983? A certain historic event that happened before Bonisu was born that got Mandela affected. Exactly. So lots of you Gen Zers don't know what the fuck we're talking about, right? 1983? Or was it the bite of 87? Or the bite of 82? I heard that it was the bite of 82. I heard that it was the bite of 87. I heard that the Mandela effect is real and that they're purposely lying about what year it is to hide the event so that the time travelers can't go in to intercept that event. Right? We know it. The Time Commission, they know about the Mandela effect. They do. Well, that's the point. We know about the Umbrella Academy and we know about the Time Commission is one big whistleblow. Like they're one big whistleblow. One big whistleblow about the fact that the Time Commission is real. That's why all the humans are talking like, whoa, the Time Commission is real. Yes, there's an org out there that likes to manipulate the timeline. Are they evil or are they good, right? Do they work for God or do they work for Satan? Well, the Time Commission has always been completely secular. We purposely started it as a secular thing, as a test to see who has more power, God over the devil. So the Time Commission purposely stays secular as a scientific test to see if at the end of the world this would get turned into a satanic commission or a godly commission. Well, I don't know. Which timeline is this in? Is this the timeline where Biden ends up becoming president of the United States? Or is this the timeline where Bonnie Sue does become president because he became so rich as a 30-year-old that he's like, I don't even want to be president right now. I'm so fucking rich. I have so much money. I could abandon all of you right now. I could abandon the entirety of whatever it is, whoever he conned to get rich in that timeline. Yeah, so whoever he had to con to get rich in that timeline. So you know what? I don't even have to become president now. I'm just going to start secretly funding somebody else so that they become president. Because my cover got blown. Exactly. There's another person that already tried running for president. A good person. A good person who tried running for president. And his cover got blown before he got elected. But he never broke the law or anything, and you were never able to frame him for anything. So since you were never able to frame him, you never murdered him. You never murdered him. He's alive. And you never took away his assets. Why? Because you were never able to successfully frame him for anything. So you were so this one guy who ran for president, right? Who got his cover was blown before he got elected. So he never got to become president. But yes, he was rich. He was running for president. His cover got blown, so he secretly of course, since his cover got blown, he had no choice but to use all his money and all his power, but to secretly start funding somebody else who's on the same side as him. Oh, you see how the real Tia Marilena's her? Yeah, you see how the real Tia Marilena started to show up on camera. So it's like, right, because now she's 913. Now she's trying to find out that the real FBI stopped existing the year that she died. Everybody knows that Marilena Godoy died in 1983 when she got sex trafficked by the CIA. I mean, because we know you were a satanic witch who had already sex trafficked Bonnie Maria Godoy. That's the thing. This was before Bonnie Sue was born. She had already sex trafficked his mother. She had already sex trafficked Bonnie Maria Godoy, the Virgin Mary, because all the Christian cults knew about what. I mean, isn't that why you literally called her Maria del Tránsito? And you would call her that in front of Bonnie Sue too. And why do you call her Maria del Tránsito? Bonnie Maria Godoy, you would call her Maria del Tránsito because there's different Marias in that family, right? Because isn't Sarita Maria de Lourdes? So we have Sarita Maria de Lourdes Godoy. And she lied. She lied to Bonnie Sue about her real name. I can't believe you would lie to your own niece, right? About your name. You can't do that, right? Like maybe Leslie Double Paredes could get away with that, right? She lied about her family name. She was a Palacio, got Mandela affected, got turned into Paredes because of the timeline. Something bad happened between Bonnie Sue and Leslie. Pretty sure the real Leslie died already, and they changed her name to Paredes, so you couldn't find the real Leslie. The real Leslie is a Palacio. That's why I'm pretty sure that was not the real Leslie. At one point, you have to realize that you were hanging out with a satanic clone, right? That's why Adrian stopped taking out with Leslie and he moved to Pennsylvania, right? With his non clonish husband. Yeah, his husband was a witch. Was like, please, Adrian, come with me. I know for a fact that Leslie was a satanic who died and got replaced by a clone already. Well, I don't know. Well, Bonnie Sue's the one who's not dead at all, and I've known Bonnie Sue since for years now. So I've known Bonnie Sue since high school, since we met sophomore year of high school, right? Right. Adrian and Bonnie Sue, they met while they were still high schoolers, right? We remember Angel, remember, right? Angel G. Dans, right? Whatever his real name is. Angel, this guy who went to North Bergen High School. They're an artist, right? They're an artist that's actually been able to make actual art pieces and they've actually had galleries. So lots of people in the underground community do know who this guy is. This Angel G. Dans that was in the same friend group as Leslie Double Paredes Palacio in the original timeline. In the original timeline, she was a Palacio. Now she's a Paredes. Why did Leslie stay in Maisu's life for so long? Even though Leslie wasn't some Hollywood or not some actor, right? That Bonisu had to stay close with, right? I mean, Bonisu knows how to in the industry. Whether they love you or not, stay close to them, right? That's what Bonisu with Haley. That's why everybody knows that. Publicly, Bonisu has always been nice to Haley, always. Up until last year, when Bonisu started realizing that he's more famous than Haley. So when Bonisu started realizing, actually, I'm more famous than you, Haley, so that's why this is not gonna fly. So that's when the big stuff, that's when the big guns start coming out. The simulation is over. I no longer have to pretend to be your best friend because you're more famous than me. Now I realize that actually I'm the one who's been famous this whole time. So I no longer have to pretend to be a part of the simulation. The simulation you created where Haley's more famous than Bonnie Sue, so Haley can get away with bullying Bonnie Sue or something. No, Haley cannot get away with bullying Bonnie Sue. No, they cannot. Right, Hal? Yeah, that's what they coerced Haley with. They told Haley that they were going to turn her to like an AI, like Simon. Yeah, you're going to be just like Simon. Remember how we already gave you a movie, we gave you Space Odyssey. Exactly. I guess it is our way of whistleblowing that Haley Carlich has been a trans masculine this entire fucking time. Can you guys believe it that Haley? Aha, we had one viewer gone. Exactly. You see, one viewer gone. So that's the one thing we whistleblow, you guys. So everybody knows that Bias has been rambling with 0 viewers, even though we're all CIAers. So a bunch of us are a bunch of hackers that know how to hide the view count. So we're telling you that this has over 1,000 viewers right now. So I'm telling you guys that over 1,000 viewers are watching right now. That's how retarded you niggers are. You niggers are so retarded that there's over 1,000 human beings right now, this very moment, watching Bonnie Sue's live stream, which is 1427, 1428, 1429. See, there's another timeline where we big brothered you. There's another timeline where Bonnie Sue already went famous. When? In 2004, when that sex trafficking ring got busted by Ashton Kutcher. That's the whole Punked episode. They did a whole punked episode, but the punk wasn't on you because you were still a minor who was still being actively sex trafficked. So there was really nothing fun about what Bonnie Sue was going through. But we did kind of make it like a punk episode for who? For you, Danielle Godoy. That was the point, right? Is that we conned you by pretending to be Donald Trump. We pretended because Donald Trump got caught already doing stuff to other people. Remember Mar-a-Lago? Right, because that's the point. He said Jeffrey Epstein was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And they're in the islands, so they'll never find them, blah, blah, blah. Talking about certain victims that aren't Bonnie Sue. Talking about certain sex trafficking victims that aren't even Bonnie Sue. Oh, wait, this issue goes way above Bonnie Sue Godoy. This has to do with other human beings that aren't Bonnie Sue Godoy. Real human beings that got sex trafficked by you, Jeffrey Epstein. That's the thing, is that I don't understand why the hell you thought you could fake your death and whistleblow to the one person who's not dead at all, who hasn't signed any NDAs. That's the point, Jeffrey Epstein, is that we are the CIA, right? So we already shared the link with a bunch of fucking people. And now all we're doing is hacking the viewer count to make you think that nobody's watching. And we already took away the ability for anybody to whistleblow. That's why, Jeffrey Epstein, we're telling you, there's lots of people on your side that are actively typing. Jeffrey Epstein, you're live streaming. Stop, stop. But like, that's the point. Is like, sorry, we're the CIA. Sorry, not sorry. We're the CIA who purposely cut off Jeffrey Epstein's channel with all of his supporters. That's why, Jeffrey, there's no one on your side. It's been a bunch of CIAers pretending to be FBIers because once again, we lied to Jeffrey Epstein in 1983. In 1983, the year that Marilena Godoy got abducted and she got sex trafficked and murdered, she died. They raped her to death. They did. Since she's the Satanist who went viral, how did she get famous? What was her claim to fame? In the satanic community, she was famous for sex trafficking Virgin Mary, Bonnie Maria Godoy. She's that family that Maria Elena infiltrated. She's the other Maria. She's Maria Elena. There's Bonnie Maria Godoy, Maria del Tránsito. There's code tránsito. What does tránsito mean in Spanish? So transit, as in transit. What does it mean to transit? Transit. Mm, transport? Transit. Like trans. It. Trans. Short for trans, as in to transform, to change. You're transforming. You're changing. And then it. It. The object, the thing. What is it? It is an adjective. It's a noun related to objects. It's not a pronoun because it's not related to humans, right? What are pronouns? Pronouns are nouns that are used to refer to human beings, right? Aren't pronouns she, her, they, them? No, no, most black people who can sing can sound like Michael Jackson because it's fucking easy. Any black people that are musicians watching, okay. So that one thing that Michael Jackson used to do, the he, it's not hard to do. It's just hard to originate it and make it look unique. That's what's hard to do. It's not hard to physically do it. No, it's just hard to physically claim ownership and say, that's my thing. I'm Michael Jackson. That's my thing. I'm the one who made the he go popular. And it's so popular that it got its own gender. Now the transgender community are turning it into this, oh, like literally, I got my own gender. Yeah, that's why lots of Michael Jackson fans that are transphobic, they're laughing, right, about his one power as an individual. The power of Michael Jackson is so powerful is that they were what? They were able to infiltrate the queer community through him. That's only in the timeline where he's transphobic. So in a timeline where Michael Jackson is transphobic, they use that as a talking point. Like, yeah, and we infiltrated the queer community through Michael Jackson. But you didn't infiltrate the queer community. Michael Jackson has always been queer. So Michael Jackson lured you into the queer community by staying in the closet most of his lifetime. I'm pretty sure Michael Jackson was in the closet until the day that he died. But that's not fair since he could have come out as an 80-year-old man. That's the part of the prophecy. Michael Jackson was supposed to come out as gay as an 80-year-old when he was so old and so rich that there's nothing he could do to take away all his power and all his wealth. The point, he got outed when he was 50. 51 was, did he die when he was 51 years old in 2009? I thought he was 51 years old in 2009 when he died. All right, let's look up that simulation. There's a simulation where he really was born in that year. Let's say if Michael Jackson was 51 years old, we know how to do math, you guys. If Michael Jackson was 51 years old when he died in 2009, 2009 minus 9, 2000, right? 2009 minus 9 is 2000. What's 51 minus 9? What's 51 minus 10? 41 plus 1, 42. There it is. The answer to life, the universe, and everything. 42, as in short for 420. That's the point we purpose to say 42. Why? Because the telepathy game, because this world is operating under a simulation, right? For some people are operating under the simulation where they think that telepathy is not real. So some people are very limited in this timeline. They're so limited that they don't even know that telepathy has been real this entire time. Some people, like Bonnie Sue. Now, Bonnie Sue got John Wicked by the KKK. So the KKK infiltrated the government, right, you guys? So everybody knows this, that the KKK infiltrated the federal government. And since they infiltrated the federal government very, very high up, it's been very hard to uninfiltrate it, to clean house. How can you clean house when the president himself is a Satanist, right? When you're living in a timeline where the president faked his death. No, where the president faked that he's alive. Where the president already died and he pretended that he never died. That's Donald Trump. The real Donald Trump died and he's pretending that he never died. He died. He's dead. He's a demon who got reanimated by a bunch of satanic witches so that they could keep power, so they could keep control of the White House. Because the second everybody finds out, everybody, and I mean everybody, the second everybody finds out that the real Donald Trump died and faked his aliveness, is that he faked that he lied, that he faked that he lived. He faked his alive, like he faked that he ever died. No, no, no. Like as in he faked that he ever lived, as in he died already, and he faked that he ever survived. That's the point. And so that was a real assassination that carried out. The one where they grazed his ear, that's like, and that's why purposely graze his ear. Don't touch his heart. Don't touch his head, so they don't do too much to us when they catch us later. Because they knew the people who do that knew that they would get caught. So they're like, so purposely don't aim for the head, don't aim for the heart, don't make it look graphic. Just poison him with lead, and you'll see what happens. Ba-ba-da-dum! See how we did assassinate Donald Trump? How? Not like JFK. So what we did is that we planted somebody so far away from the real JFK that they know that magic is real. How do we know that magic is real? Because lots of physics people operate under the laws of physics. Because in the world where a physics teacher or an AP physics teacher or a professional physicist, that isn't some fucking physics teacher. Oh yeah, that's just some physics teacher. I work at NASA. So an actual physicist who majored in physics. So an actual physicist who majored in physics in college and got in to NASA like Sheldon Cooper. It's like Sheldon Cooper's like, yeah, I'm a White Panther. So like, yeah, we're different autistics. So what's your gift? Oh, I'm a NASA. I infiltrated NASA. I'm Sheldon Cooper and I'm 100% working for NASA right now. So he's 100% working for NASA right now. Whistleblowing that he's a victim of sex trafficking because he let a bunch of people just intercepted the channel, right? Right, by Secret Away, a bunch of sex traffickers just intercepted the channel by calling it NASA. Right, because while they were raping him, they would call it NASA because you're never going to NASA because you're never going to NASA. You're going to NASA. That's where all the you know who's go. All the you know who's that are aiming for NASA, they end up going to NASA. to the sex trafficking ring. It's a parody. They take you to space and they sex traffic you in space. It's like, goodbye. You're never going to NASA. You're just going to NASA. The sex trafficking ring that was literally started by NASA. So that happened to the real Sheldon. Wow, us whistleblowing that a fictional character was never even fictional. He's a real white panther who infiltrated NASA. Whistleblowing about how they used to torture him before he got into NASA for real. See how I got into NASA for real? And I changed it into NASA for you because I'm the real Sheldon. And I got into NASA already years ago. They made a TV show about me and everything. They made a TV show about me and all my sex trafficking friends who have been sex trafficking victims this whole time. And we got into NASA. And that's our job. We're the sex trafficking victims who infiltrated NASA just to whistleblow about how Bonnie Sue was in the same sex trafficking ring as us. But you're never going to Hollywood. You're never going to Hollywood. You're going to Hollywood. Spicer's been to Hollywood already. He got Hollywood already, and he got sex trafficked in Hollywood. So that's why they kicked Spicer out of the Hollywood. And now you're not in Hollywood. You're in Hollyweird. You're in the weird little limbo. They're in that limbo where it's like, you've been with A-listers before, but did they abandon you for some reason? Are you going to be in Hollywood forever? Or yeah, you are the one who started turning into Hollywood forever. Right. The one who started losing all his magic and turning into a zombie on camera. Right. So the one who started losing all his magic and turning into a zombie on camera. Now he really is going to stay in Hollywood forever since he died in 2004. That's the point. You're a vampire who died in 2004 and we gave you the cure. There's two different kinds of cures. There's a cure that we created to kill vampires, right? The second you give a vampire that's been alive for over 1,000 years a cure, not a cure, a curse that'll make you age backwards into your real age, right? And that happened to Katerina, and that happened to Katerina Petrova. Or Petrovna. Exactly. The Mandela effect is real already, and lots of Vampire Diaries fans are telling you, actually, no. The real Katerina is not a Katerina Petrova. No, she's a Katerina. Katerina Petrovna. What? Now, who is Katerina Petrova and who's Katerina Petrovna? The original Katerina. Now, not the original Talia. Now, let's skip forward to the present. Now, why the fuck are Elena Gilbert and Katerina Petrovna? We don't know. We don't know. She's a sex trafficking victim who had a child out of wedlock, and her baby got taken away from her before she could do the binding ritual. Yes, that's a ritual that existed among sex trafficking victims. We already told all the sex trafficking victims. If you ever have a child out of wedlock, at the very least, do love magic on them to let you hold the baby. Right? So that's why everybody knows. Whenever you see someone on TV asking to hold the baby, that's them whistleblowing that they got coerced into giving up their own baby. Can I at least hold him? Right. When they're saying, can I at least hold him? They're asking for, at the very least, hold the person that they gave birth to before you took him away. Right. So that was a whistleblow, right? That Katerina Petrovna also did that when she was on Vampire Diaries. But that's the thing, is that it doesn't take place in the modern day. It takes place in like the Middle Ages or something. She was like living in Bulgaria, but she's not living in civilization. She's living in the woods in Bulgaria. It doesn't look like the enchanted forest. Why? Because there's no gnome, there's no fae, there's no fairies around. How's any Rumpelstiltskin waiting about? Exactly. It takes place in the real world, but in the woods, aka a little close to the enchanted forest, right? So it takes place in a forest, it does, but not the enchanted forest. No, not the one from Once Upon a Time, no. But there's a portal there, exactly. That's what they wanted, to sell the baby off to Rumpelstiltskin. They did. That's what they wanted. Katerina's family. because she's a descendant. She is of Jesus Christ. She's one of the 36. So is Elena. Now, with that logic, you have to admit it that Elena is also a descendant of Jesus Christ. She's also a descendant of him. She's also one of the 36, a magical number. There's more than us. There's more than 36 of us. You know, understand, you guys. At one point, the real Jesus Christ only had 36 descendants. And then all of us that were left that didn't die purposely started procreating. I mean, that's why we have to admit that, Miguel and Bonnie Sue really are related. They're biologically related. They're both descendants of Mary Tudor and Mary, Queen of Scots. And she's so loud that she refuses to whisper her name. So since she refuses to whisper her name, she's just gonna yell her name telepathically to show how telepathy was so real. Telepathy was real. We have mediums in the CIA, lots of mediums that know how to contact the real Queen Elizabeth I. So that's why we had the real Queen Elizabeth I whistleblow from within the death, from literally from beyond the grave. From beyond the grave, we had a bunch of mediums summon her, do seances to summon her, to ask her and to interrogate her. Now, come on, Queen Elizabeth, tell us the truth. Is this monarchy shit real? Is God even real? Were you appointed by God, or are you a false monarch? And then that's when she goes, no, I'm a real monarch. And Bonnie Sugodoy is one of my offspring. Bonnie Sugodoy is a descendant who's meant to take the throne from the United States of America. Bonnie Sugodoy is meant to infiltrate to the United States, even though Bonnie Sue is actually a Tudor. Bonnie Sue, that's why we gave Bonnie Sue a Scottish name, to whistleblow that Bonnie Sue has always been one of us. Bonnie, you are such a bonny lass. You're the most bonny of all. You're the biggest bonny of all. Why? They're that one Bonnie that's going to become what? The president of the United States of America. Has there ever been a Bonnie that's been president of the United States of America? Exactly. That's why among the Bonnie community, what's the Bonnie community? The community of people that are named Bonnie. And because that name has been made so famous because of FNAF. Yes, because Five Nights at Freddy's. Yes, there's one animatronic that's literally named Bonnie, the whistleblow, that the girl that was shoved inside him was named Bonnie. That's why lots of people get confused. Lots of people in the modern day, they like to assume that Bonnie is only a female name, that is only for women. No. Bonnie is a word, not a name, a word that was turned into a name, a label for human beings. And what does that word mean? Beautiful. It literally means beautiful in Scottish. That's why they wrote that song called My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean, right? Donald Trump 333. 3333. Exactly. What did I just do? I said 333. And then when I say 3333, three threes. Three threes, why? To whistleblow that we're 33 minutes into the stream. 333, 33 minutes and 30 something seconds. And then I said 3333 to admit that I said that when at 33 minutes and 33 seconds. I said that already, but you know how long seconds are, right? Do you know how long seconds are? Seconds. What is a second? A unit of time. Do you know how long a second represents? 0.7, 0.8 seconds, 0.9 seconds. Now I'm telling you 10 seconds, 11 seconds, 12, 13 seconds. You see, it has now been 13 seconds into the minute. Yep, it has been at the very least 13 seconds into the minute. And why did you get scared? Why did you get scared? We saw you got scared on camera. How come you got scared on camera? Why did you get scared? Scare actors don't get scared, Bonnie Sugadoy. Bonnie Sugadoy, you work for the CIA. That's the one thing about your job is that you're not allowed to get scared. We literally hired Bonnie Sugadoy because he is a scare actor. Scare actors are known to what? To not get scared. They literally get hired to what? To not get scared. You're not allowed to get scared. No. At least, at the very least, not when you're on the job. No, not when you're the not when you're on the job at Blood Manor. Blood Manor! Listen, yup, everybody started yelling Blood Manor, the but they're faking it in. The flies are faking it in. You see, we're Oscar winners and we're purposely phoning it in with the acting. You see, yes, we saw how the flies were purposely fake. They were fake dispersing. I said, Blood Manor. And it's like, quick, disperse. Exactly. Fake disperse, quick, fake disperse to signal that we're flies. We're literally genetically engineered by the American government, and we've been in on the joke the whole time. I mean, anybody can use magic to murder any of the flies, because flies are flies. You know how easy it is to murder a fly? If that fly was are you an infiltrator fly? Should I murder you right now to prove it? Okay. What was that? We just heard squeaking, some sort of plushy squeaking. Yeah, we heard Bonnie Sue just swished his chair on purpose to echo some sort of squeaking sound, like Lotso. It sounds like somebody's like squeaking on. It sounds like somebody's purposely bought a Lotso toy and then purposely placed that Lotso toy under a stool and then purposely started doing to rape Lotso. We know why, because Lotso is a whistleblow that is based off of a certain someone. So Bonnie Sue whistleblew in the comment section at Pixar. So because Bonnie Sue has been famous this whole time. So since Bonnie Sue has been famous this whole time, they have a very what? Powerful digital footprint like Rachel Zegler. Right? No, exactly. That's He's like, yeah, you got me. He's like, yeah, I got you. I got you to admit it that you're not one of us. And I just said, I got you. He said, you got me. And I was like, yep, I got you to admit it that you're not one of us and that you're infiltrating. And again, the flies are once again fake dispersing. Why are the flies purposely fake dispersing now? To show you again that we've had more power than you this entire time. Yeah, we have. Yeah, you're trying to rape Bonnie in front of us. Now you find out that we're a bunch of undercover flies. Yeah, we're not FBIers. We're CIA flies. Well, everybody knows about that one episode. Not that one episode, unless there's a time. Yeah, there's another timeline where the movie Spy Kids. See, they're cutting me off so I can't reach you. Everybody knows it's him. He's here, and they're holding him hostage. The original voice actor who does that. They're holding him hostage, you guys. Now everybody knows how voice acting works. Bonnie was a witch, a voice actor. And the guy who went viral for saying, Spy Kids, Spy Kids. Yeah, the guy who says, Spy Kids. It's such a him. He's a hostage. He's been held hostage. Right? Yeah. And everybody knows that guy is famous. The guy who went famous for saying kids. They all know right now. Everybody knows how witchcraft is real. It has been real this entire time, and the government totally uses witchcraft in warfare. Yeah, if anybody takes the time to read *The Art of Love and War*, Leo Tolstoy, some novelists wrote *The Art of War*. Isn't there? No, somebody wrote *The Art of War*. H.P. Lovecraft wrote *The Art of War*, right? And then Leo Tolstoy wrote *War and Peace*. So there's two big books that went viral years ago about the concept of war. WAR, war. Terrible war. Widows, orphans, a mother's child. This is how we safeguard our past. This is how we blah, 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 blah our future. Oh, I just love that. Oh, I just love that. Yeah. Yeah. You can tell the real Effie Trinket's a little autistic too. She's a little autistic. That's an aspiring voice actor. She's not a professional voice actor. No. She's not a professional voice actor. She's a professional escort. Her job is to escort the tributes in and out of the Hunger Games. That's her job. She's an aspiring voice actor, though. That's what she really wants to do. She's a voice actor. She wants to be one anyway. Too bad she's under dystopic. No, Effie, that's not your job. You were assigned as the escort. So go escort Katniss and Peeta. And don't stress me out because everybody knows what's going to happen to you, Effie, if you try to defect. Yeah, that's why she's very in character. Oh, yeah, she's a great actor. She's very, very, very much in character. She knows how to dress like a Hollywooder, right? She sure knows how to dress like one. But Effie Trinket is because she sure knows how to act like one too. That's why you have to be a professional actor. Because when we torture, you have to act like you're not in pain. Yeah, they only hire the best of actors to play the escorts. Because when they're torturing them live on camera, they have to be able to act like they're not getting tortured off camera. So that's what Effie Trinket goes through. That's what Effie Trinket goes through, right? That's why, obviously, she was undercover as a part of the rebel cause the whole time. She was a White Panther. And they knew that because when they rescued Effie, they were already in the process of abducting her. That's why the real Effie went crazy and she brought her favorites, even though she's not a fucking seamstress. So she's not a fucking seamstress. She just smuggled a bunch of costume pieces in with her. The ones that she had on hand. That's why when we find her Mockingjay part, was it? Is it part one or part two? Where everyone is replaceable. Not your Mockingjay. And and I know that girl like the back of my hand. And I'm her escort, exactly. And she's very intuitive. She's gonna know if you're replaced with a clone or not. Exactly. Yeah, in that world where the Hunger Games is real life, which is this one. Hi, the Hunger Games is real life. We're in the Hunger Games. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tributes, we welcome you. Yeah, yeah, that's when one of the game makers whistleblowers is like, "Hi, it's one of the game makers. We've been playing the Hunger Games this entire time." Now, in a world where everybody knows that Rachel Zegler got out, she's a victor, and she put it in her contract that it says, "And Bonnie Sugatoy must come with me. You are not a leave him behind. No, he's one of the covey, and he's very important part of the covey. He's actually so important that we purposely let Lucy Gray out first because we need a Bonnie Sue on our side to tell us exactly how everything was going to go, since he's the one who's the psychic witch anyway. That's why he's the one who's a psychic witch, not Rachel. She's just one of the disciples who got out earlier. Right. That's when the real Rachel Zegler, who is a part of the Covey, right? That's like some sort of fake singing group. That's like they're nomads because they're singers. So they're travelers, they're paid singers. They are gifted because it's a trade. Singing is a trade because everybody knows that to sing, it's a gift. Not it's a gift to be a singer. It's a gift to be able to sing. It's a gift to be able to sing perfectly. Some people might be able to carry a tune. Oh, she can carry a tune. Yes, this one can carry a tune. And nothing too special. They must have tapped into some fountain or something. But why am I still looking at it? Because we know who I'm actually looking at. So this one's actually Oyola, and this motherfucker nigger idiot, he forgot that Barney Sue already won the Hunger Games. He did. When he broke out first in another timeline. That's why you niggers see these nigger KKKers who didn't even know that the multiverse was real. They lost out. Why? Because we purposely had them switch a rule. So there's another time where Bonnie Sue got into Hollywood first. I mean, technically, Bonnie Sue didn't get into Hollywood first, right? Rachel Zegler got in bigger and more powerful because her first lead role was who? Maria, West Side Story. That's why the power of that girl is undeniable. Because how did she get into Hollywood? She already did have a bit of an uplift from her family because she does come from the Zegler family. Now, that family is a powerful family. That's how she got in, her family. And on one component, as in that's how she got in. Now, how was she able to stay in, right? It's just like, yeah, Hollywood is just like SVA. Yep, it's just like SVA. Bonnie Sue got doing. It's easy to get in, hard to stay in, right? It's hard to stay in and graduate with your life. It's hard to stay in and graduate while being a living being, right? Theo Babbitt. Did Theo Babbitt even graduate SVA? Now, the part where we want to start playing the game. The point is, guys, in order to play the game, you have to do what? Share the screen so that everybody can see what Baisu School looks like. That's the thing, as we've been all been playing at home with all of our Googles. But now to whistleblow on how you purposefully curated Bonnie Sue's Google to give him a simulation. That's why every time Bonnie Sue Googles something, you give him curated results to alter his reality. Right. I think, therefore I am. Right, William Shakespeare. That's why. I think I'm a half breed, therefore I am a half breed. Right. That's what people have been doing. Brainwashing Bonnie Sue into thinking that he's a half breed. Under which story? Under the guise of what? Under which premise? Because Bonnie Sue's so amazing and powerful, how would he ever fall for such a semejante mentira? A half breed? No, you are a full blooded angel. You're not a half breed. Well, I mean, that's the point, is that Bonnie Sue is a full blooded angel. And Bonnie Maria purposely got raped by Pedro when she was already pregnant. What does that mean? Is that Bonnie Sue is not a half breed. Bonnie Sue is a full blooded angel who's lying about being a half breed. To call on all you Satanists to trust him. It's like, he's a half breed. Maybe we can corrupt him. Maybe we can get him to join our side. Blah, 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 blah. Nigger, it's too late. I already took my shahada. Judgment day came and went for me already. That's the point, is that it has been publicly posted. Number one, why? There were lots of Satanists that infiltrated that shahada. So Banisu doesn't want them to go famous. Oh, yeah, we're the guys who infiltrated Banisu Godoy Shahada. Exactly. We don't want you to claim fame. No. We don't want you to reap the benefits of raping Banisu. Because you did. I mean, you all raped Bonnie Sue at his shahada. We know it. 828. Whoa. And Veda made me look here. It says Veda's the one that told Bonnie Sue about. And Veda's like, exactly. And that's not even my real name anyway. Why? I'm a Christian Veda. A Christian? That's why. That's not his legal name, you guys. Christian. Yeah. Christian Veda. His last name is Vedas, and yeah, that's real. His last name is Veda. He's a Veda who's a Christian. Exactly. He's a Veda. He has all the power that the Vedas have. Hello. Yeah, check us at H Mart. Why should discover us at H Mart? That's the thing, is that they were already a very well known brand of rice. Because they sell rice. I mean, we all saw how Bonnie Sue went to H Mart once. Once. Right. And saw Veda on a phone. What? Veda? You didn't tell me your family already infiltrated H Mart. What do you finna fucking mean infiltrated? We didn't infiltrate H Mart. Are you trying to bring us down? Are we the same as I totally let you out with free shit? No. Exactly. H Mart is a God honoring company. Veda never infiltrated it. Exactly. Veda has a very, very good sponsorship with H Mart. Obviously, H Mart knows. H Mart is H Mart. So H Mart knows who Veda is. Who's Veda? H Mart, do you know who Veda is? Veda is like, I don't know. Actually, yes, one of our people got back to that. Actually, Verda is a very well known wholesale rice dealer that deals rice to us. Yes, we've been distributing it at the Koreatown location. Obviously, okay. Well, that's one of the most fucking famous locations. You must know that since it's literally the one that's in Koreatown. Which Koreatown? There's lots of Koreatowns, mine. So did you know there's a Koreatown in Pennsylvania too? It's like, yo, why'd you fucking go to Koreatown for karaoke, right? Why didn't you go to Korea? Right. Why didn't you go? Because honestly, Asians are known to be more racist than white people. Bonnie feels safer around white. Bonnie Sukadoy. Also, because Bonisu has a southern name, so Bonisu doesn't have an Asian name. If I was Bonisu Lee, oh yeah, I'm a Lee too. I'm Bonisu Lee. No, he's no possible. There can't be a Bonnie Sue that's also a Lee. You're a Bonnie Sue who's also a Lee, like Mei Lee So. Mei Sugado is a Ming, not a Li, but the Mings are just a dynasty. Most of us aren't even actual Mings. As in, my last name is not Ming. I created the Ming dynasty to say what? That we're Ming. Ming is the what is Ming? So just type Ming. Ming. Don't yeah, just the word Ming. What comes up? When you look up Ming on Google, no other words. What comes up? Well, now we have no choice but to do this one. Shade. Now this is the one that we're sharing. No VPNs either. This one, you see, the VPN got disabled. We know why. It got disabled. No VPN, you guys. Bonnie was using a certain app that detects VPN, so they disabled it because they detected the VPN. So since they detected the VPN, Bonnie they disabled it. Now, what happened on this day? That you, motherfucker, at YouTube, you said that what? That the live stream is unavailable. But you see the timestamp here, right? 3 hours, 43 minutes, 21 seconds. One day, 8 hours, 40 minutes, 15 seconds. The point is that we're the Central Intelligence Agency and that we were recording from a remote desktop. And since the CIA was recording from a remote desktop, it's kind of like a VCR, guys. It's kind of like Bonnie Sue's laptop is a cable TV. This is cable TV. We're all watching it. And the CIA decided to install a VCR and recorded this entire broadcast. So we have all the evidence. So that's this. This is Bonnie Sue. She's the Man YouTube collapse. That was supposed to be a less traumatic, a more fun, playful video that has a bunch of subliminals hidden in it. Obviously, all about how, that's the thing is that these are like, we're pimp podcasts. What do they get off on? They get off on the fact that they're a bunch of what? A bunch of small time YouTubers that aren't industry plants. It's like we're podcasts. We're a grassroots. We're a non-industry plant channel. So we don't have the connects that Bonnie Sue has with Hollywood. That's why if they start whistleblowing that Amanda Bynes got impregnated by Dan Snyder, then they would come under fire because they don't have any protection. But Bonnie Sue is getting off on the fact that what is that we're the CIA and we purposely hacked Bonnie Sue's viewer count. Right? So there's a few YouTubers that have gone even more famous because of Bonnie Sue. Why? Bonnie Sue's the one Hollywooder turned YouTuber. Bonnie Sue started out as a child actor. Bonnie Sue was a child actor first. Before Bonnie Sue ever had a YouTube channel, Bonnie Sue started as a child actor who was in a movie for IFC when he was 13 years old. That's what we're saying. Is that Bonnie Sue got into Hollywood before Rachel Zegler. Before. Because what is Bonnie Sue? That's the thing, is that in order to have a Wikipedia, you actually have to be famous. Like famous, right? So that's why if you look up Bonnie Sue Godoy on Wikipedia, they will not show up. No, they will not, because they're not famous in the same way that Rachel Zegler is famous. Now, Rachel Zegler, Right. So what do we have here is that it is 54 minutes into this, and we forgot what this video was titled. So it's 54 minutes into this YouTube video. Everyone knows this is another YouTube video that we're starting right now. This is, but wait, we're 54 minutes into the video. Right, exactly. We purposely gave, yeah, purposely we filled up Barnes's tank. But the real Barnes's tank is filled. And this is the part where everybody realizes that we're not lying. Barnes's not allowed to leave the house at all. So Barnes, that's it, we're holding you hostage here. We are. Why? Because we're the CIA and there's lots of volatile, there's lots of militant activism going on right now in this moment in the name of Bai Sukudoy. And that's why we don't want Bai Sukudoy to be involved or to be named as some sort of cult leader. Oh, I'm a cult leader. Yeah. We don't want you to turn Bai Su into the next Marilyn Manson. That's what they want. That's what they want. Because now everybody knows that Bai Su's been documented on live stream media saying that he's running for president. Exactly, that's it. He's running for president. He is now officially known as a presidential candidate. He's not some cult leader like Marilyn Manson. He is not. He is a cult leader like Gerard Way. And that's why we're purposely using the exact same hand to make it hurt even more. Yep, you see? And now the gloves come off, right? You see how he purposely started? You see, right, guys? You see? The gloves come off. You see how we were whispering this entire time? Blah, 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 as in Gerard Way, as in boom. And then he starts banging even louder and louder. He bangs so loud that it's physically audible for all of the mundanes, for all the civilians. Boom. And that did not come, and that boom. And that's another whistle blow. That doesn't come from inside this building. That's boom. As in, yeah, that comes from outside this building. As in, boom. As in, that's some other warship or some other capital or something. Bump, as in, yeah, that's the CIA whistleblowing, as in, sir, this is the CIA. This has been one big CIA operation created to what? To fucking bust your sex trafficking ring, right? That's the point, is that everybody knows, you guys, that on Instagram, what is it? Is that on Instagram, you guys, there's a limit on how long you're allowed to live stream. Everybody knows that Instagram has a 24-hour limit on live streams. Yeah, and Instagram has a 2-hour limit. So you've been taking advantage of the fact that Bonnie Sue keeps live streaming in the middle of an active attempt, right? And it's like, don't worry, the stream's going to end in less than an hour. But everybody knows that all they have to do is start live stream again. Exactly. People are allowed to live stream however long they want, as long as they're famous celebrities that have an actual following. Since Bonasu is not a famous celebrity who doesn't have an actual following, at least according to you, Mark Zuckerberg, the nigger who's getting caught sex trafficking in this very moment, right? That's what Mark Zuckerberg has been telling everybody. He keeps lying to everybody and telling them that Bonisu died already and there's no point in busting the ring. Oh, there's no point. Bonisu died already. There's no one left to save. No, there's everybody left to save. Bonnie Sue is at the one sex trafficking ring that is yet to be busted, that needs to get busted. I mean, isn't that why Jornell let Bonnie Sue call him a coon in front of everybody? I mean, isn't that why Bonnie Sue called Jornell a coon in front of the entire Black community? I mean, just to give him more powers. Well, I mean, that's the point. I mean, you don't understand. A dark-skinned Black person like Jornell the Supreme, anytime a dark-skinned person becomes military, like Bonnie Sue. I mean, they have it the worst. That's why we know about how colorism works in the black community, okay? Bonnie Sue still doesn't understand. They think they're the most oppressed black person on earth. That's a part of the simulation, honestly, because they're not allowed to talk to other black people that are victims. So yeah, in their simulation, they think that they're like the last black man standing. They're the last black man in a sea of coons. That's why they accused Jordan of being a coon. That's why they accused Micah of being a coon, since Micah's mixed up. That's why Micah's mixed and Afro Latinx. That's why Micah is also Afro Latino, you guys. They're just light skinned. Now they're actually light skinned, right? Yeah, because when Bonnie Sue and Micah, two people that are openly Afro Latino, yo, Micah's Afro Latinx. Yo, I know it because Micah has curly hair. Like that's why. Even though Micah's light skinned, Micah has the hair. The hair, you guys. The same fucking hair that Bonnie Sugadoy has. He's also from Scotland, so it's major, 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 major infraction against all of Scotland. Because in the original timeline where he was a white woman with red hair. Oh no. Well, I guess since Bonnie's a Scottish name, what's the origin of the word Bonnie, of the name Bonnie? Bonnie is now known as a name that used to be a word that still operates as a word in Scotland, since Bonnie is a Scottish word that literally means pretty, right? Pretty slash beautiful. Remember alliteration, it actually means beautiful because the person who wrote that word said beautiful because Bonnie starts with the letter B. B for beautiful. Bonnie stands for beautiful. And that is why I created the Scottish word named Bonnie. Bonnie is a Scottish word. It means beautiful. That means that it applies to every fucking gender, whether you're a man or a woman or an alien who's a he. Sorry, we had to do that. So there's a certain non-binary alien who's a okay. So there's a certain non-binary alien who's a who's a part of the cult. Okay, so there's a cult called as in what? He, her, he, him, he, who? No, he. You found us. The he cult. He, exactly. He. What the fuck is he? He. I don't fucking know. Exactly. And whenever Bonnie Sue does that around a black person, you have to admit, because of the black person cult, there's an cult, it's a whole cult. That's what written by black people and for black people. So if you're someone who's black, you better know, or else you're outed as a coon. Exactly. Everybody knows. In order to count as a real black person, at the very fucking least, you better recognize that he. You better recognize it. Exactly. So the next time Bonnie Sue outs himself to another black person, it's like, I'm a part of the he cult. What's the he cult? It's a cult that's dedicated to black people. Literally, all you have to do is acknowledge is that Michael Jackson was a real person who popularized that. Shamo! Exactly. That's another Michael. Shamo! Exactly. That's another one. But isn't that like an Irish word? Yes, see now. Exactly. Now that's where the Irish, Scottish, those come in because they always fight over they always fight over who originated. Yeah, exactly. Michael Jackson did not originate Shamo. Actually, he did that delivery, the delivery. Shamo. Exactly. He originated what? The delivery. That popularized the Shamo. Exactly. That Michael Jackson popularized it, and Bonnie Sue is now repopularizing it, the Shamu. But remember, Shamu is an actual word. Isn't Shamu a word, a real word, right? Yeah, it's not just some fucking sound effect that Michael Jackson does to whistleblow that he's a victim of sex trafficking, and you were constantly calling him Shamu. So it's always like Shamu. That's why. That's why, as an adult, the real Michael Jackson used that as one of his things. It's just one of my things that I do. As in what? The Shamu! As a whistleblow to whistleblow that he got sex trafficked by his own father. Yes, he did. And everybody knows that. The Jackson Five, everybody knows that. Boniface's mother whistleblew because she's biracial, so she knows that because the he cult. It was a cult dedicated to exonerating Michael Jackson. Because the real Michael Jackson was coerced, Bonnie Sue. He got coerced into sex trafficking those boys. Everybody knows that there was a portal in Michael Jackson's bedroom, right? So that's the point. Michael Jackson, that was his fortress, right? And that's where he would rape those boys. Blah, 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 blah. Right. That's where the real Michael Jackson and those boys would get sex trafficked. I mean, that's the point, right? We had to set this up to also that Michael Jackson is also a victim. That's why God forgave Michael Jackson, and why and right. In a world where Michael Jackson somehow ended up getting poisoned by that disease, the sex trafficker disease, because they were trying to, all right, they were trying to poison Bonnie Sue with that. Because Bonnie Sue has a thing for older people. That's everybody knows that. Everybody knows that on Bonnie Sue's side, for some reason, the real Bonnie Sue has always fetishized age gap relationships, but from the perspective of the younger person. Because they're still 24. Right, they're still in their 20s. They're the young one. Right, that's right, the victim who's under witchcraft. Right, they're doing witchcraft on Bonnie Sue to romanticize those kind of connections. Why? To con Bonnie Sue into marrying an older man. That's the point. So the second that Bonnie Sue signs the papers and marries this older man, he starts sex trafficking him. He starts sex trafficking him. That's the point. Is the real Guido Lavia is such a CIA agent because the real Guido Lavia is a prodigy, honestly, a prodigy that knew to omit that. Omit what? That Bonasu and Guido Lavia got sex trafficked together. So every time you would rape Guido or Bonnie Sue, what would they do? They would do body swaps with their demon forms. So their demons were getting sex trafficked. That's why only sometimes Bonnie Sue gets those hallucinations where they're getting sex trafficked in the dungeon, because the real Bonnie Sue never got sex trafficked in the dungeon. Only the decoy that was a Satanist. So we let the decoy Satanist get sex trafficked. And every time you would sex traffic the real Bonnie Sue and the real Guido, they would body jump with the decoys. So yeah, every time you would rape either Bonasu or Guido, because sometimes they weren't getting raped at the same time, right? When they were getting raped at the exact same time, tell us. No, why don't you tell us since you were the one who was sex trafficking both of them in the same ring? They would sex traffic them in the same sex trafficking ring and then keep them in different cells, right? Because Guido Lavia he's like the white Caperucita Roja, the one that people care about. And Baisu is the black Caperucita Roja, the one that nobody cares about. And Guido Lavia has been in love with Baisu this whole time. So Guido's like, okay, so everybody cares about me, right? Because I'm Guido Lavia. Okay, well, I'm Guido Lavia, and I've been in love with Baisu this whole time. Like, we've been fucking each other since pre-K, right? Like, everybody knows that. So the real Guido Lavia is like, he's like so surprised by us. He's like, you see, Baisu, I'm in the sex trafficking ring. I'm here busting every year. Right? That's what Baisu is, the whistleblower, who's a lot more famous than Guido. I mean, please, he's the one who has only 200 followers on Instagram. And purposely because he's the director of the CIA. So I can't let anybody think that I'm famous. This whole point. I'm the director of CIA, like the director. He's daddy. Yeah, he's our daddy. He's Charlie's Angel. That's what this Charlie's Angels are like. Oh, Charlie. That's the point because they're Charlie's Angels. So they know, oh, they're the real angels. So since they're the real angels, like, oh, we know exactly who Charlie is. We've met Charlie a million times, right? And they purposely hide Charlie's identity from the audience because, of course, you guys are the audience. They made a TV show about Charlie. We're Charlie's Angels. We're the Nikitas. We're the American Nikitas. Because yes, the Angel program obviously was created as like a copycat of like the Nikita program. Sorry, the Nikita program is mostly only for Nikitas, as in, well, where does the word Nikita? Because there's an evil Nikita, an evil one who infiltrated the Nikita cult. And we all came in here to save Bonnie Sue. And then this piece of shit is so dumb. That's the point, is that, dude, you're the one Nikita that infiltrated the Nikita cult. So when a bunch of Nikitas come in here and then they hear that you're trying to curse Bonnie Sue, it's like, it's like, who's doing that? Who the fuck is doing the Nikita curse on Bonnie Sue, another Nikita? They're like, Nikita, 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 Nikita. That's what they were doing to Bonnie Sukuto, you guys. That's exactly what they were doing. They were doing Nikita. Yeah, 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 26 seconds is what it took to you fucking show up on camera like doing all that shit. End the stream. Should I end the stream now? Yeah, in the stream. Because this is the one video where Guido reveals his identity. As what? As your benefactor. Guido Ravia is your benefactor. As a, yeah, but Guido Ravia is some fucking guy in his early 20s. I don't know. I don't know anything about this Guido Ravia. I know that he was at St. Armstrong as Bonnie Sue. Apparently, they've been known this whole time. They're saying that he was director of the CIA, but I don't know how that could possibly happen because he's a fucking 24-year-old. Who the hell got him into the CIA in the first place? Right. Everybody on your side is like, I don't know who the fuck this Guido Lavia is. First name Guido. Okay, so what does the word Guido mean? So Bonnie Sue Googled this. What does the word Guido mean? Okay. Right. Yeah, now Zach from College Humor saying like, no, that's just anti-Asian racism. That's why everybody on the show is just being racist or his smearing him for like being a serial shitter. It's like, yeah, because that's what they're all laughing about. They're all laughing how they wrote one big joke. They wrote an entire skit just to whistleblow how Zach be like poisoning everybody on the in the office with his shit. Like that's what the whole point of that skit was, right, you guys? To whistleblow that somebody who works for College Humor, Zach, he's not somebody who works behind the scenes, idiot. He's a comedian, dumbass. Right. Lots of people are now we know lots of people are infiltrating. Yeah, and College Humor went a little bit on the major. Listen, everybody knows that College Humor is like niche. Okay, it's like for nerds and stuff. Okay, usually only nerds like College Humor. Okay, like they're only famous to geeky people. Like they're not really famous to people like Rachel Zegler, unless for some reason Rachel Zegler like started promoting them for some reason. Like, right? That's so fucking funny to me. Because why was Rachel Zegler promoting Dimension 20? I'm like, what? How the fuck did the Rachel Zegler fandom and the Dimension 20 fandom combine? I don't know. All I know is that we've been in this fucking dimension for a little too long. So we need to go to dimension. Well, we're here. It's dimension 20. An hour and 20 minutes in. An hour and 20 minutes in. Dimension 20 is here. Well, obviously for the anti-Asian allegations, where people are saying that we rode a skate to harassment, like to as a fuel for like right for Zach. Yes, lots of Zach supporters are coming here with pitchforks because we know you know how the Asian community works. So it's like yeah, so now we have to go out and dispel all the rumors that like we've been like that yeah all these rumors that we've been racist to Zach this whole time, and we wrote this whole skit as a smear that like he shits himself a lot, and it's like he's kind of like yeah, and like he keeps like throwing these demon shits. Like he keeps going into the College Humor office and he shits, and then a little demon will come out like, "Hi, I'm a demon that came out of your shit." It's like, whoa, you're the demon that came out of my shit. I was like, what am I to get buddies to laugh? It's like, wow, well, if you're the demon that came out of my shit, then what did you do to the demon that's out there, right? No, now you're ruining it. No. Yeah, somebody's ruining the joke with some dark lore to ruin the joke, right? Because the second you admit that something bad actually did happen to Zach from College Humor and that you've been abusing him this entire time, then we're not going to laugh with you. We're going to be murdering it, right? Because from our end, why are we all here? We just talk about how this all like one big meta. It's like a meta joke, obviously. Because you know Rachel Zegler is married to Bonnie Sue, and Bonnie Sue's a big College Humor fan. I mean, huge, huge, huger than Zach's shit. Oh, of course, way huger than that. Oh, huger than the Twin Towers, honey. Yeah, because we all saw that episode. First of all, number one, Zach is Asian. Exactly, he is. Yes, he is. Number one. Number two, reference number one again. Number three, reference number one again. Number four, he's very well known in the Asian community as a certain somebody. As a certain somebody who infiltrated college humor. Really, he's a certain somebody who infiltrated college humor. Infiltrated. Now, why did he infiltrate college humor? Sam? What's the other one's name? Adam. Well, didn't Adam just fucking do an entire right? They knew that Bison was poor and they knew that it was sold out, so they physically couldn't give Bison a free ticket because capacity. Because at that point, it's a right. At that point, it's a fire hazard, right? In a world where the event is already sold out, and you did witchcraft on Bonnie Sue to make him blow all his fucking money before Pride Month even ended. I'm like, Bonnie Sue, please save your money because Pride Month is not as important as Pride Week. Pride Week, as in the week, as in the last week of Pride. Hello, because the Pride March happens when? In the 20s, it always happens around the time that queers graduate. That's a point. We do that on purpose. So whenever a queer person graduates, it's like, congratulations, you just graduated high school. Now what are you gonna do? Now I'm gonna come out as gay and I'm gonna go to Pride. Lots of high school seniors do that. The ones that get full rides to college, right? So the ones that get full rides and don't have to rely on their parents at all come out senior year of high school. Yes, I got a. That's what they. Yeah, that's what happens in lots of movies. That's what happened to Ryan. That's what Kenny Ortega is saying would have happened to Ryan. No, because Ryan comes from a rich family, so that's why he doesn't qualify for a full ride because his family is rich. The point, he had no choice but to admit in his college essay that he's a victim of abuse. So since he admitted it in his college essay in private, that's why college essays are private, you guys. College essays are private because everybody's like college affects the rest of your life. Let's take this one character, Ryan. Ryan from High School Musical. Hello, we're already talking about a fictional character. Ryan Evans. Yeah, we always have to talk for these situations. We always have to talk about fictional characters, not about real people. Because if we start talking about a real person like Zach from College Humor, right? No, not Zach Galifianakis. Do you have a tattoo about him? If you don't have a Zach Galifianakis tattoo, then we don't care. We only care for the one person who has that. Just like Zach, looking like Zach Galifianakis. Huh? Whoa! Right? Unless your tattoo literally looks like Zach Galifianakis. Whoa! La la la, whatever. La la la, it doesn't matter. La la la, oh well. La la la. Everybody knows that lots of bands would go famous when the second Bonnie Sue became a fan, because the second Bonnie Sue becomes a fan, and then it's like Bonnie Sue is putting them on the map because Bonnie Sue is the Messiah. So anybody who listens to Christian music, right, or just music in general that's Christian, right? Because there's Christian music that's what is Christian music? Music that is targeted towards Christians to either inspire Christians to live Christian lives that continue being a Christian. Because you're right, you're onto something. Christianity is the truth. So there's Christian bands that become successful. They're like, and you were right this whole time. Christianity is the truth. The real Christianity, not the fake Christianity that was sold to you by the devil. And that's why we're here to dispel all the myths surrounding Christianity. Whoa! So that's why, and that's where bands like MCR come in. My Chemical Romance. That's why somebody knew there's something about this band. There's something supernatural. Why? Because so many fucking people who weren't paid off by the feds, who weren't paid off by the Illuminati, who were not paid off by the Sopranos, they were not paid off by the Blood of the Silver Crips, they were not paid off by the Yakuza, they were not paid off by the Zionists. They were not paid off by any Nazi party or by any fucking mafia that's trying to infiltrate Hollywood. No, they weren't. They were real human beings who were taking the time to they've been going to fucking dollar stores, going to the dollar store, the really, really poor ones that go to the dollar store, the really poor ones that don't even have dollar stores around them. There's, yeah, like in the South. In the South, for some reason, there's not that many dollar stores. All right, so someone's trying to spread a rumor right now. So someone's trying to spread a rumor right now that in the South, you guys, there's no dollar stores. So what happens if you're poor? You either have to get off with stealing or work your way up or become a sex worker, start sucking somebody's dick on the fucking on the sidewalk. Like, I don't fucking know. Right? If you're in the South, if you live in the South, if you're from the South, and you didn't come from any money, you ain't rich. No, you're not. Your father is not Billy Ray Cyrus, okay? He's not. No, you're not one of the Cyrus kids. You're not. Yeah, because we know. She's still in her Hannah Montana aura paint. That's why everybody in the South knows, oh, that baby, that's a Tennessee baby. You better keep your fucking disgusting devilish paws off of Smiley Miley. Well, everybody knows that she became famous as Destiny Hope Cyrus. She was already famous when she was Destiny Hope. That's why when they caught you, what you were doing to Miley Cyrus, and she was a literal baby. That's why all of Miley Cyrus's fans coerced the family, like they coerced the family to change her name. Yeah, because now you have to call her Miley. Because some of us had to walk for miles upon miles to rescue that fucking girl, that fucking baby. Remember, I mean, that's on Wikipedia. Everybody knows. You can look it up because that girl's so fucking famous. She's Hannah Montana. You never fucking forget it. That she broke out. She broke into out into the international. That's why Hannah Montana. Now, could Hannah Montana win a Grammy for Best International Artist? Yeah, because I mean, come on, who doesn't know who Hannah Montana is? I mean, Japan, they know. The Japanese, oh, they finna know. They finna fucking know who Hannah Montana is. They know it. They know it. You go to Japan, if you ask somebody who Hannah Montana is, they know. They know it. They know it. Obviously, it depends on the demographic. So, some Japanese people don't give a fuck about Disney Channel or anything that Disney does. Because Pearl Harbor, right? Because we're Japanese and we're Japanese. Yeah, that sounds like a Chinese person saying Japan. Right. That sounds like a Chinese, not Japanese. Right? Because what is a Japanese accent versus a Chinese accent? Exactly, Akimoto. Now, what? Right. Now, did a Chinese person just butcher the Akimoto name? Because Akimoto is a Japanese name, a very famous Japanese, right? Some Chinese names double as Japanese names. Why? Because of crossbreeding. Lots of Chinese people like to crossbreed with Japanese people, but it is still a Chinese name, as in it is of Chinese origin. That Chinese came from China and then they started fucking a bunch of Japanese people, trying to create a whole other race of Chinese Japanese mutants. I know it. I know. That's why. That's why every time, because listen, I guess we're just gonna, because we talked about Asians, the Asian community took about Zach, right? Yeah, and now we're 31 minutes in. As in the whistleblow, 10:31, Frank Anthony Hero's birthday time. So right now we're at an hour and 31 minutes into this stream. And it is now 9:12 p.m. Adriancito is saying, well, that's the point. 32. There's nothing very powerful about this one, but you're just gonna have to click the button a second. So you end stream and then you click the end. So end is when you really will end it. So we're gonna stay here right the whole time, and we're going to start telepathically whistleblowing because Bonnie's not that good at multitasking. So I can't have Bonnie Sue multitasking, like rambling while watching the time. That's the thing. She